Finally, some meaningful games to talk about. What is going on, everybody? I am back with another Sixers talk video. It has definitely been a minute since I've done one of these because all the games we've been playing for the last, seems like 2 months have just been pointless and, they just haven't been worth talking about. So I'm glad to be back and expect a lot more of these types of videos for the playoffs. I want to start off by saying, if you are new to the channel, I make Sixers sports talk videos, Sixers mixes hype videos, Eagles as well. We do all sorts of sports stuff over here. So if you are interested in that type of thing, hit that subscribe button because I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting pretty close and I am excited. And once I get to 1 million subscribers, you can say you're within the first 1,000. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button to help out this video. And leave a comment if you want, giving me your opinion. Trust me, I'll read all the comments. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So the Philadelphia 76ers will be taking on the Washington Wizards in the first round of the NBA playoffs, and I'm so excited to watch playoff basketball. It seems like last year, we made the playoffs, it was the bubble, we got swept, it was pretty negative, I didn't like it, it was terrible, it was probably one of the most depressing things I've seen, especially with all the expectations that team had. So it didn't even feel like we were really in the playoffs last year, but I'm super excited to finally be back, Sixers to finally be back playing, to be playing in the playoffs, and we actually have high expectations and hopes for this team. I am super excited for that. So last night I did watch that Wizards-Pacers game, sort of, because I was watching and then they just turned into a big blowout, and I was like, at a certain point, games are not worth watching. I'm super excited for this first round series versus the Washington Wizards. In my opinion, I actually think the Washington Wizards, out of all the 4 Eastern Conference play-in teams, were probably the best one, to be honest with you, just based off the fact that they have 2 superstars, Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. So that's going to be a tough offensive matchup for the Sixers, but we have a very good defensive team, very good defensive matchups, very good defensive players, and Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green, George Hill, and of course, Joel Embiid in the middle. So I'm not super concerned about it as much as some people are. Some people may be concerned that we have to play Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal in the first round, but I feel that we have the tools to counteract them and play them very well and potentially slow them down throughout the series. One matchup I will talk about, I think that they're going to put Ben Simmons on Russell Westbrook, and I think that that would be the best possible thing to do because although Bradley Beal is their leading scorer, I will say that Russell Westbrook is the one that really facilitates the offense. So if you can disrupt him, I think you can disrupt the entire offense of the Washington Wizards, and you saw that versus the Boston Celtics. He was not himself, and they did not look like a very good playoff team in that game versus the Boston Celtics. So if you can disrupt Russell Westbrook, I think you disrupt the whole thing. And then Bradley Beal, you can just throw a bunch of different looks at him. Danny Green, George Hill, Matisse Thybulle, and if he's hot, you could slide Ben Simmons onto him as well if he's the one doing all the damage. But obviously 2 very offensively talented players. Russell Westbrook has been playing out of his mind lately. Bradley Beal has the 2nd leading scorer in the NBA this year. So it's not going to be a very easy cover. I'm not playing it off saying, oh, this is going to be the easiest thing for us to do is stop these 2 players. But what makes me a little bit more optimistic is that, first of all, we're the 1 seed, they're the 8 seed. We clearly have an advantage. Our home court is going to be ridiculous this season with more and more fans coming back, 50% capacity and eventually 100%, I believe in June. And I think that's going to be a big advantage for us because it usually is no matter what, but players have not played in front of that many fans in so long, and I'm just super excited to seeing that happen again. But what makes me optimistic is that the Wizards really have 2 players, and then they have a bunch of role players, and I don't, obviously they have that center Gaffer who played very well last night in the win versus the Pacers for them, but I don't see him as a player that's going to consistently play that well, and obviously Joel Embiid, he's going to have to handle him, and I think that's easy. That's easy post up points, easy points in the paint. I don't see anyone on that team being able to guard Joel Embiid, and that brings me to another point. This team in the Washington Wizards, although they do have a very good offense, they don't have a good defense at all, and I believe we can exploit them on that side of the ball, get out in transition, run in the half court. We can make things happen. No one's going to be able to stop Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris is going to have to get it going, and I believe he will. Ben Simmons is the X factor in the playoffs. Let's see if he gets ramped up a little bit more aggressive in this series because I don't think you need him at 100%. Well, we're going to need him for Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, as well as we're going to need him to play in those games for us to win those series, as we are going to need him to play in this series. I think it'll be, he doesn't need to play up to what we're going to need from him later in the playoffs quite yet. So I think this is a ramp-up series for the team, especially since they haven't really played real competition in so long. We're finally going to play a team that actually has good players on it, despite it only being 8 seed Washington Wizards team. They do have Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, so I'm super excited about that. Another thing to look out, bench production, Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton, George Hill, Dwight Howard, Furkan Korkmaz, Tyrese Maxey. I don't know what the bench rotation is going to be. I don't know if Tyrese Maxey will be getting minutes. I don't know if Korkmaz will be getting minutes, but whoever gets minutes needs to step up. I would say Dwight Howard, George Hill, Matisse Thybulle are locks for playoff minutes, and it's up in the air from there. I would probably give Shake Milton, probably, in my mind, he's probably most likely to get playoff minutes just because I think Doc likes him. So we'll see what they all do with those minutes. But Matisse Thybulle on the defensive end is going to be a big difference maker in my opinion. I'm super excited to see what he does in his first, I'm going to call this his first real playoffs, because last year we got swept and we didn't really have a chance in that series, and it just was super depressing to watch. So that does not count. I'm not counting that. So I don't know what else to say. I'm just super excited for this series. I do believe the Sixers will win it in 4 or 5 games. I don't expect it to go very long. We beat the Wizards all 3 times we played them this season. One time without Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid getting injured in that game, and we still won by a large margin. And in another game, Bradley Beal dropped 60, and we still won. So I believe in our team, our defense, and I believe in our ability to score points on this poor Washington defensive team. I got one other thing to talk about. That is the Russell Westbrook, Joel Embiid rivalry, and I'm super excited to see it in the playoff series. You see it sometimes in the regular season. It got pretty heated, especially when Westbrook was on the Thunder. It got pretty heated at times. You see Embiid dunking on Westbrook, blocking Westbrook, Embiid running Westbrook over and shoving him into the stands because he went to block a shot, and Russell Westbrook got super pressed about it. It's just super fun to see rivalries like that in the regular season. And I didn't ever think we'd get that in the playoff series, but we're about to, and I'm so excited to see that intensity in a playoff series. I'm just super excited to see that. It's going to remind me, I feel like, of that Brooklyn series we had a couple years ago where Jared Dudley's garbage. We know that. Russell Westbrook's an actual superstar that can potentially back up what he does. But I'm super excited to just see something like that again. It's going to be super fun, and I am so excited to watch playoff basketball, Sixers playoff basketball again. With that being said, if you did enjoy the video, please subscribe. Please like the video. It helps me out a lot trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. If you want to check out some of my other content, I will have that up on the screen. Go watch my Sixers playoff hype video. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. We're about to take it all the way this year. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.